Shalom Aleichem Rabotai. Mishnah Yomi is continuing in the fifth parak. We're just starting the fifth parak in Eiruvin at Mishnah Aleph. Ketzad me'abrin et ha'arim. How do we fill out the cities? Me'aber is literally the word pregnant. And in this context, it really means we're filling out the border of the city to draw a square shape around all of the houses and features of the city, as the Mishnah is now going to explain. Bayit nichnas, bayit yotze. There might be a house or a dwelling that goes in and one that juts out. So if you have most of the dwellings, along parallel streets and they're kind of in a square, but one of them juts out, or one of them juts in, well, you're still going to draw the line around all of the dwellings, even if you have sort of an outlier that's jutting out of the square shape. Or pogum nichnas, pogum yotze. You might have a walled city, but there is a pogum, a tower, some sort of fortification along the wall that juts out. So you'd be drawing, we're going to see, you'd be drawing the line to make the techum outside of this jutting out feature. Hayusham gedudiot, givohot sar tevachim. If there are broken up walls, kind of, houses that were abandoned and, semi-dilapidated, but they are 10 tefachim tall still, they still have some kind of walls there. Gesharim nefashot, sheyesh behen beit dira, or there are bridges or tombs like mausoleums, but they do have a living space. They have for the guard, the shomer of the bridge who collects the taxes, or the caretaker of the cemetery, he has like a little apartment or a little room that he lives in, so that counts as a dwelling. Motzin et amida kenegdan. So we can extend the external measure around the city opposite these features. If they have any sort of dwelling, then they count as a dwelling of the city. So even if they're not in the normal circle or square of the city, we sort of extend the perimeter line to include these quasi-dwelling features. Ve'osinata kamin tavla merubot, and then we make it like a square. Kidei shehei niskar et hazaviot. So you will make a profit on the corners. Now this means we square off, as we've said, the things that are jutting out around the perimeter of the city, but also if the city is a circle or an oval or the like, so we basically draw a square around it, the square that includes that circle within it. So you've gained those corners of the square that are outside of the circle when you're making your shape to make the techum of this city. So as we're going to see, then from this external perimeter, we're going to measure 2,000 amot north, south, east, west to make the techum, and that's where they would put the techum of the city, as we're going to describe in the rest of this parak. On to Mishnah Bet. Notnin karpef le'ir, divrei Rabbi Meir. According to Rabbi Meir, we grant an additional karpef, an open space. We've used the word karpef before. It's sort of an open, non-residential area. Could be used for storage or grazing or other things. In this context, it's a karpef is 70 2/3 amot. As we mentioned in the second parak, and they derive that from psukim there. Chachamim omrim, but the other sages say, lo amru karpef. We didn't say that we give an additional karpef beyond the perimeter that we mentioned in Mishnah Aleph, ela ben shtei ayrot. That's only between two cities. We give them a karpef, as we're going to see, that might link them together. They explain, im yesh lezo shivim amma v'shirayim. If one city has this open space right outside the city of 70 and change, it's 70 2/3, lezo shivim amma v'shirayim, and the other one has the same open space, and these open spaces are kind of right next to each other. So these cities, they don't exactly border on one another, but they each have a 70 and change amma space right outside the city. So ose karpef l'shtehen liot k'achat. So we can grant them both a karpef to be as one. So we consider this karpef as part of the city, as sort of an extension of the city. And since these extensions are touching, these cities are considered as if they're one city for the purposes of the techum. So somebody in city A, which is close enough to city B, he could go to city B and make use of that techum, and they would consider them as one big city and then draw the techum line 2,000 amot outside of both cities. Shkoyach, be well.